couple of weeks ago, we were saying, who can this team beat? Maybe they'll squeak in to the playoffs as a wild card, but they're not going anywhere. Now 2 wins later, we've also talked about how things changed 100% in the NFL in the course of 7 days, 14 days. Now, what do we think of the Niners' chances to get to the Super Bowl and win it this year, Dad?
Okay. I before I speak, I'm going to preface this saying a couple of weeks ago, I wrote him off. I was disdainful. So now I'm going to sound like a real moron. And like, I don't know. And I am. I'm a moron. I don't know what I'm talking about. I actually believe, as of today, this team could go all the way. Why not? They've proven that they have a really good defense in spite of everything. They have an offense that finally really looks very good. I mean, the only team that I think you'd say they really have a tough time would be Tampa Bay in the NFC.
In the NFC, yes.
In the
Even
NFC.
Seattle, we expect the Niners to beat them in Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that in the NFC West, any team could beat any team.
Sure. Although I don't think the Rams could beat the Niners. Forget that.
Yes, the Niners have the Rams number. But aside from that, I believe the Niners could beat Seattle and they could beat Arizona.
Or they could lose to either one, too. True.
They could lose. So I'm going to say, except for the little wrinkle with the Rams, all the teams could beat and lose to each other. So I think in the NFC, the real issue would be Tampa Bay, and you would deal with that when you dealt with it. But I feel that the Niners are certainly good. The way I'm looking at it today, and I could change my mind after Sunday. And please bear with me, people. I don't get paid for this. So if I'm wrong, don't say, well, you get paid for that. Actually, I don't.
No.
So in any...
You're right. Keep going.
Okay. I mean, if you gave me a bottle of wine, that would be payment. That would be nice.
Okay.
We'll make a bet sometime. Yeah. Anyway, I think they could go all the way, and I think they could win the Super Bowl, because what team in the AFC is so great that they would Kansas City?
Kansas City. I mean, that's the team. So, yeah, I mean, why not? Why can't they beat that team?
Well, they should have beaten Kansas City last time.
And, the way I looked at it is that Jimmy crumbled, but the secondary crumbled too. That secondary stunk. It was propped up by the pass rush all year. Sherman crumbled, Tart crumbled, Ward crumbled, Mosley crumbled. With the exception of Mosley, they're all new guys back there. And they're playing a lot better. They have a better secondary this year. They might be better equipped to go up against a team like Kansas City.
There was one other crumbler.
Oh, yeah, that head coach. Got to mention
the head coach. And that's the issue. That's what you can't answer until the Super Bowl. He was a crumbler. In fact, he was crumbler number one.
He was crumbler number one. So it's hard to ever pick a team that's coached by Kyle Shanahan to actually win the Super Bowl. But to get to the Super Bowl, it's starting to look more plausible. I mean, they only have 3 losses. If they win this weekend, as we expect them to, they'll be a game out of first place. Who's this? I mean, they're in last place in the division. They could still win the division. They could finish the season 13-3. Who knows? So seems to me that, as you said, the only team that they really got to worry about in their own conference is Tampa Bay.
They're going to kill Green Bay.
Yeah, I think so. The thing is, Aaron Rodgers is a punk. And if you have a strong pass rush, he'll tap out. But the Niners don't have that anymore. It might be a better matchup, but I still expect him to win.
He is a guy who taps out.
He does. But before I'll get to Rodgers in a second, I want to say why other things I've liked about the Niners, why I'm not writing them off. All people say the injuries. I think the injuries have been good for the Niners in a couple of senses. Now, there's a lot of examples of backups on the Niners being better than starters. And they've gotten a chance to see it. Tavarius Moore, JaMychal Hasty, Jeff Wilson Jr. By the end of this, they're going to know exactly who the best players on their team are. They've seen it in games, and they'll be able to make more educated choices of who to play, which is big. Because I think one of the reasons they lost the Super Bowl last year was they started Tevin Coleman. They didn't get the ball to Mostert enough. They never really understood who the best players were on their team and how much they needed to get them the ball. I think they're getting that sense now. And the other thing is, all these different injuries have forced the Niners to find new ways to beat teams every week. And what their offense looks like this week may not be what it looks like at all in 3 weeks. But a team that has to do that and scratch and claw and find new ways to win is set up to succeed in the playoffs, because those are the kind of problems you have in January when everyone's hurt. at that point.
Iggy, in the Super Bowl, what did you think when Tevin Coleman started?
They're going to lose. Here we go. They're going to lose. They're going to freaking lose.
What the heck is, like, does he know something I don't know? Because, I mean, I'm sure he's a very nice man, but I've never really been impressed with him. And Iggy, I couldn't believe it.
No, and you look at what Jeff Wilson Jr. did on Sunday against the Patriots. We've seen it from him a little bit. He hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities because Tevin Coleman keeps playing. And you wonder, it's like, well, what would this offense have looked like last year if Tevin Coleman had never been on the team and Jeff Wilson could have taken all of his carries? How about that? I mean, I've never seen – I can't remember a Niners running back who ran that hard, Dad. What Wilson did.
Didn't the Niners send out an advisory today that Tevin Coleman is close to coming back?
They don't think he's going to be back in this game, but he might come back for the Green Bay game. That's terrible news, Niner fans. You got to pray to God that they trade him or something. Whew.
Yeah, I mean –
Sorry. So that's to me is one of the biggest issues with the Niners. Like, they have all these great players on the bench that don't get playing time. Tavarius Moore, the free safety, he was great against the Patriots. He backs up Jimmy Ward. Dad, do you ever notice Jimmy Ward in the game? No. It's like, yeah, Jimmy Ward was in the game. I don't know. Maybe he played well. I don't know. Tavarius Moore is like, oh, who was that guy who just hit that guy? Oh, 33. Maybe he should play more.
I got a paradox. I just figured out a paradox. It's a Kyle Shanahan paradox.
Okay.
When it comes to his game plan, he's extremely not reckless. He's extremely adventurous. He takes a lot of chances and creative. When it comes to his starting roster, he's extremely conservative and the exact opposite of how he is as a coordinator. In fact, I would say the coordinator head coach wins in spite of the fact that the roster guy is so conservative and meek.
Because to me, the most important player on this team, the player who embodies what this team is the most, is Raheem Mostert. Not Kittle, not Juszczyk, it's Mostert. Because Mostert was the undrafted guy. Mostert was the guy who had no expectations, and Mostert was the guy who seized his opportunity when it was the next man up thing better than anyone really ever has. And that's what the Niners are. They're the next man up team. They're the team that when someone gets hurt, it's just an opportunity for some backup to be even better. They're like the team they're the Wally Pipp team. And Shanahan has to embrace it. He didn't embrace Raheem Mostert until really this year. He had Raheem Mostert going crazy last year and would like stick him at 10 carries, 11 carries, not start him. And I think this year Shanahan's starting to realize, you know what? I don't have to be right. I don't have to be right about Tevin Coleman, Jerick McKinnon, whatever. Just play the best players, and I'll get credit for those guys too.
Yeah. What a concept. Play the best players.
What a freaking concept. I know.
When did that concept come in? Why would you play the best players?
I know. To me, it's like, aren't you watching practice, or are you just going home and calling your dad and being like, Dad, what should I do this weekend? Who should I play? Your dad's not at practice. He doesn't see Jeff Wilson Jr. every day. He might see him on the iPad or something, but you're there. You feel these guys' presence. You know who the best players are. We see it. You should see it. You're a genius, Kyle. Just play him.
You know what, Iggy? I have no idea how Kyle Shanahan's mind works. Maybe he calls his dad. Maybe he doesn't call his dad. I have no idea. I mean, I don't know how he thinks. I've never talked to him. And plus, Iggy, in the press conferences, he could be a robot talking.
I actually think he's doing a Bill Belichick impression.
Okay.
I think he's doing his best. Like Sean McVay, tell me if you think I'm wrong, but when you see him and watch him, doesn't it seem like he's doing a John Gruden impression?
Yes.
Yes. Like he came up under John Gruden. He seems like he's emulating that style of talking, leading, cadence, whatever. I really think Kyle Shanahan is doing a Bill Belichick impression, talking through his nose, no charisma, lots of insight and details. That's what he sees himself doing. I don't know if he is, but Bill Belichick's no fun to listen to either.
Oh, God. He's a sleeping pill. He's a human sleeping pill.
Yeah. Right? Shanahan's a little bit better than that.
Yeah, and he'll give you more information.
Yes, he's a more long-winded
version. He'll give you more information. He's not defensive the way Belichick is. But I don't get his personality. Is he a giggler? Did you ever see him laugh?
Not really. He's not a big smiler. No. I guess he doesn't have much personality, but I think his argument is, I don't need personality. Bill Belichick doesn't have personality. So Bill Walsh had it worked for him.
Bill Walsh had several personalities. He had many personalities.